Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Forever Blues podcast in association with our principal partners, Davisons Law. If you can give the guys a look, a follow, have a gander at what they're up to in terms of everything for your legal needs, it would be much appreciated. They're big supporters of us and big supporters of Blues as well. So this week, Taity's away in foreign climes, so obviously we need to draft in a replacement, somebody who possesses the same sort of qualities that Taity did as a player, has the respect of his peers, a legend of the club, also, respected by managers, loved by supporters on the terraces. But we got Geoff Horsfield. So, Geoff, welcome.
Hello, Tatts. Hello, Mike. You all right?
I'm all good. Thank you for coming along for our 50th episode as well. So,
Pleasure, mate.
It's a milestone episode, and we've brought somebody special in. Obviously, I'm only joking. The guy is a legend, a cup finalist, and a playoff hero for Birmingham City. Anyway, let's get straight into it. We'll have a look at the Sheffield United game, Blues opener in the Championship, a 0-0 draw away from home. There weren't many chances in it, but Blues had probably a real defining moment when Solis put Vicente in. He probably could have shot. First time at the near post, he tried to find Priske or Stansfield in the box, and Beadle made a save 20 minutes to go from Bamford. But Blues, I think, actually had more of the ball in terms of creating better openings. They weren't clear-cut openings, but ultimately away from home, considering Blues' record on the road last season, 0-0 at Bramwell Lane on the opening day, would you take that?
Yeah, definitely. I think opening game of the season, there's always shock results. And to go, I played for Sheffield United, not very long, but Bramwell Lane's an hard place to go and get a result. And like you said, I think prior to last season, as away performances weren't good enough. And I think first and foremost, another clean sheet, which he'll be over the moon with. We could have scored that goal. I think if it had been a little bit more selfish in the box and gone for the shot, then he might have scored. But great performance,
Yeah, back-to-back clean sheets as well, which, considering I think last season Blues conceded the first goal about 17 times by half-time. Yeah. They were always trailing, which gives you an uphill battle, doesn't it? What's Chris Davies done to sort of elicit that? It seems like we've talked about it before on the pod with Taity as well, that there's no real niceties now, that they're playing football that will get you results away from home. It's a bit more efficient.
Yeah, I think if away performance has got to be different to home performances. Obviously, the crowd at St Andrews is absolutely fantastic. They back you. But away from home, I think sometimes instead of, I call it the Pep Guardiola disease, the tippy-tappy kind of football, I think sometimes the full-backs, the centre-halves, the midfielders, they've got to turn the defenders and get into the final third, push up and start again. But Chris Davies, I think, knows that. I think he'll have looked on last season and known that as away form weren't good enough. And it wasn't good enough. I think if you can pick a few wins up and draws away from home and win your home games, then you're now in guaranteed promotion.
And do you think now Blues are a different obstacle almost for home teams, because they probably knew how Blues were going to perform, so they prepared for that? But now I think they can mix it up a little bit.
That's a great word, that we can mix it up, and I think that's the important thing in playing away. And he must have looked at that and known that the performance weren't good enough, and that's what we've got to do. We can play football, and we've got the players to play football with Solis and players like that, but we've also got players that can run in behind, like Stansfield.
We talked off camera about Jhon Solis. You like him, don't you? What qualities do you think he's got, and how high is his ceiling?
He commands the midfield. He's got a great engine, a great vision for a pass, and I think he's only going to get better. I really do. And towards the end of towards going through the season, he will get better, and hopefully can chip in with a few goals as well.
Yeah. Who'd you play with him? Because obviously it has been Paik and Iwata. It has those two holders. Now Max Bird has come into the equation, and Paik has played the 10 for these last two away games for a reason. I don't think that's not going to be his sort of default position. So what would you do in that midfield area?
I like Paik, to be fair, playing with him. But I think Chris Davies will know what his best formation is. This Bird just come in and made his debut. So he's more of a sitting midfielder. But we've got options in that department, which is very good.
Yeah. Talk about Max Bird. That's, he's 25, but he's got a lot of experience, Championship and League One, and he'll bring something probably a little bit different. He's a left footer. He can play deeper. He can play the let's do the pardons, the 68, the 10. What do you make of that signing, and do you sort of understand? Do you understand it?
I understand Chris Davis's idea of bringing him in because he's versatile. Like I said, he's left-footed, which is not many left-footers. He can sit just in front of the back four, back three, and then he can play the number 10 position as well. So on that left-hand side, he's a great addition to the squad. Yeah,
and I guess with Mark Leonard longer-term injured, and obviously there is concern over Pate's shoulder and what have you. Taylor Gardner-Hickman as well, long-term with a hamstring. So again, Blues aren't leaving themselves short because over a 46-game season, as we saw last season, people are going to get injured. That there are going to be people absent. So you need a big squad.
We need a big squad. I think, like you said, there's 46 games, and it's instrumental that we try to keep as many players fit as we can. And it is difficult playing Saturday, Tuesdays throughout the winters as well. We're going to pick injuries up, and if we've got that additions to the squad and people can come in and fill them spaces, and it doesn't look like they've just come in for one game and things like that, then it's going to be better for us.
Mention fitness and durability and availability. One player I thought particularly caught the eye at Bramall Lane was Bright Osayi-Samuel. Bit of a checkered first season at the club after coming back to these shores from Turkey. What do you make of him? Because you can see he's got all those attributes, athleticism, and he can make recoveries and he can get forward. But he's had 2 very good games to start the campaign with.
I didn't see the first one. The Sheffield United game, he was immense. He played against a winger that wanted to come inside all the time, which a lot of fullbacks don't want to do. They start pushing him onto the centre half, but he did that well. And then when the substitute come on, he were fantastic again, and I think he was absolutely outstanding. But going back to his fitness, I think as soon as you come into the Championship and you come into English football, and it's again going back to it, game Saturday, game Tuesday, you've got to be physically fit, mentally strong, and I would think his fitness coach, whoever it is, has sat him down and saying, "Listen, you need to be a lot fitter because he has got the attributes. But if you don't look after yourself off the pitch, then it's going to take its toll after 10 games, after 12 games, and towards that final part of the season."
I think he admitted it himself after Swansea. He's worked on his conditioning to improve it a little bit. And Chris Davis mentioned it in passing that he's had to get used to how he wants him to play and how he wants his fullbacks to play. And there's no hiding place for fullbacks, especially right fullback in the Birmingham side, Birmingham City side, the way that Chris Davis wants them. They've got to be high energy, high tempo. They've got to be able to get up and down.
And that's what he wants, and he's got to be fit. For him to play high intensity football up and down for 90 minutes, he's got to be fit, and he's got to look after himself off the pitch.
Yeah. Both away games so far, Chris Davis has made a change by bringing on Ethan Laird ahead of Osayi-Samuel to basically see the game out, to shore it up, and also to have a bit of power, someone with those recovery runs to support. There's been a lot of discourse about Patrick Roberts not getting an opportunity there. What do you make of that? Do you understand the manager's thinking, and maybe Roberts is more of an unlocker of defences to play at home rather than when a game away is in the balance, albeit he could finish off a game that's away and in the balance, couldn't he, because of his ability?
Yeah, with his ability going forward, yes, but I think Chris Davis has said it, he'd rather gain a point than lose 3, and I think that's what he's looking at away from home. And I think if you push forward too much in the final 15-20 minutes of a game, then there's a chance we could concede goals. And I think like he did well on Saturday, the manager, to make his substitutions, and we come away with a point.
Yeah, you mentioned there away from home, it's always difficult. A lot more fortitude about Blues now. Have you noticed that there's a bit more of a physicality, a bit more of an edge, and a bit more of a hard-nosed mentality about that group now?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's brought the players he's brought in. And again, going back to the Championship, it's difficult, and you've got to be together as a unit, as a team. You can't be individuals. Chris Davis has brought that in. And again, he'll have looked from experience from last season. What the performances weren't good enough. Again, going back to it, I think we played too much from the back last season away from home, and we didn't get the results we wanted. I think sometimes we can turn people around and get up the final third and start again.
What the best teams that you played in at Championship level? What were their main requirements in terms of individual wise and as a unit, as a team?
Individual, I can always remember playing under Gary Megson at West Bromwich Albion, and I think we won 17 or 18 1-0ers throughout the season, so nearly half.
Blimey.
Yeah, but he told me on the Thursday when we did partner play, listen, you're going to be up front on your own. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to run the channels. There'll be the midfielders backing you up, but it's going to be a shift and it's going to be graft. And I knew that from the Thursday, so we knew we had to play it. And then he'd bring a couple of subs on if I had to come off, and I'd run myself into the ground. And then we'd end up winning 1-0 or nicking another one and winning 2-0. And we got promoted to the Premier League. Different under Brucey when we played. We were more or less 4-4-2, but we got great wingers in Stan Lazarus and Paul Devlin that could deliver balls. So we mixed it up in getting promoted from both teams, really. So it's what the players have been brought in to do.
Yeah, football, obviously, now that there's more of an emphasis on the possession, patterns of play, and rotations and stuff. So, is that where Blues, that's where Chris Davis has looked like he's tweaked it a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I think last season, when I watched it, and this is only my personal point of view, is we were too tippy-tapping. I think we weren't getting forward quick enough. Me personally, that's what I thought. We had a lot of possession, don't get me wrong, but possession doesn't win football games. Goals win football games. And I think he has tweaked it, and we're going forward a lot more quicker.
You'd mentioned goals win football games. Obviously, Chris Davis has also identified that the need to increase the goal scoring output.
Yeah.
How are they going to do that? Is he still in need of a couple more players at the top end to sort of enhance that, or are the goals in that team as it stands at the moment?
Well, it doesn't look like Duck's going to be stopping, does it? Stansfield's been playing, I think, out of position on the left-hand side, obviously, because we've been struggling in that area. He's a goal scorer, a natural goal scorer, and I think if we can get him back running the channels and going forward, then we've got goals. But I think we need another striker to play up front with him or just off him to get some more goals.
What style of striker? A classic 10, a 10, or the sort of ones that Coventry City use? Big powerful,
quick,
that can run and
well, if you look at Coventry last season, they destroyed teams. And front three absolutely destroyed teams, and they weren't. I'm not saying they weren't passing it because Frank Lampard got them, but as soon as people dropped deep, they were in behind and they couldn't catch them. So I think them kind of players that we want, but what are they going to cost? 20 million, 25 million, 30 million? A 15 to 20 goal scorer in the Championship, £30 million now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think people do forget that Blues do have to be careful. They have got the money, but they have to be careful with it.
Yeah,
because they can't fall foul of the regulations.
But then that's going back to the scouts looking at players and find a rough diamond either in non-league or lower in the leagues, League 1 or 2, and try
are they still out there? You think?
I would think so, yeah. But it's trying to find that right one and adapting.
Yeah, I suppose it's also giving opportunity at the moment. Everyone wants success instantly, don't they?
Of course they do.
Possibly not that patience to develop players. Talk about players getting opportunity. Moves us on to Bristol City at home, the opening game at St Andrews. They've gone into the market and taken a couple of strikers. Obviously, Don Ballard, 5 million from Orient, top scorer, League One Player of the Year, 23 goals last season, and also Laurent Tolaj, £4 million, Plymouth Argyle. So they've done that. They've seen lads at a lower league level, brought them in to have a go at the Championship. What do you make of what Bristol City have done this summer?
The two good signings, but if you look back at the money at the lower level and the £5 and £4 million, £5 and £4 million, do you know what I mean? So that's what you're talking about. But can they adapt in the Championship? Because again, League One, as Blues know, we walk that division, and then you get into the Championship and you go, oh, hang on, different quality of players. You look, Wolves come down, West Ham have come down, Middlesbrough are going to be up there. There's some good, strong teams. It's one of the strongest Championships if you look on paper. that there is, and there's money being spent. So it's going to be a decent season.
Yeah, just before we go back onto to Bristol, you mentioned there the Championship. I mean, I think it's arguably the strongest, it's most competitive it's ever been on paper by the looks of it. I mean, how difficult is it when you have West Ham coming down with the spending power the players have still got, and also Wolves, even if Wolves do sell a couple, I mean, straight away you think those two plus Burnley, there's your top 3 places filled in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, well, that's where you look at it. I think West Ham have sold a couple of players, Wolves have sold a couple, Burnley, I don't think they've sold really many, but you look at it, that's the nucleus, and they're all Premier League players. They've played in the Premier League, so it is going to be difficult. Middlesbrough will be up there again. They're home form as well. So I think the good thing for us is there's 8 places to grab it at the minute, which is crazy. I only found that out about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, it's so there's another opportunity there for another team, for us, kind of thing, to get in there.
I'd be staggered if a team that finishes 8th goes all the way and wins the playoffs.
I think it'll most probably happen. It's Sod's law, isn't it?
The gap between, say, a team that finishes 3rd, if they play them in the semi-final,
and then halfway down the division,
over 2 games.
Yeah.
But I get why it's been done. It will keep the interest. I can see why club owners, chairman go, we've got a puncher's chance. There's still something to play for.
Yeah.
And it'll be great theatre, won't it?
Yeah, of course it will. It's like when the playoffs first started. I think, is it 40 years ago? 30 years ago? Something like that.
A long time ago.
It's madness, and it adds to the excitement. Not for the manager and the chairman, but I think for the fans, it's absolutely fantastic, and especially if you win.
As a player, what's it like, though? Do you go into it under pressure if you're expected, like at Blues, 3 times in a row, 4th time lucky?
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like, the pressure as a group you were under, or was it a bit different because obviously Brucey had come in, replaced Trevor, and it was a new voice. It was almost not a fresh start, but there wasn't that hangover of three times missing out agonisingly.
Yeah, the Preston, I can always remember that as though it were yesterday, losing on penalties. With Trevor, God bless him, taking us off the pitch and coming back on. There were a lot of pressure then because it was our second season. But when Brucey come in, he instilled confidence in us, and we had that towards the end of the season when we got 5 or 6 games left. We went. It was us, Birmingham City, that went on the run. Yeah, we went on the good run. We were the informed team.
I think it was 13 unbeaten all the way.
Yeah, it were. Yeah. And I know we beat Sheffield United at home 2-0, and then went into the playoffs against Millwall, and thankfully we scored it. We beat Norwich. So you've got to have. I was never nervous. I was always confident going in. I looked at the squad and the team that were around me, and I thought we got a better chance than Norwich to get promoted.
Yeah, that Preston semi-final. I mean, they still have a parade every year to mark it, and they
we were so close. We were so close to getting it. I think I hit the post, and it come back round, and I can't remember what. I think it were ranking. Run all the way up, and they went and scored, didn't they?
Offside goal, and I'm pretty sure this is correct as well. Obviously, when you scored, didn't you?
Scored, and then hit the post.
Would have gone through on away goals and the previous rules, and it changed. And then Stan has the shot, rolls along the face of the goal, he puts it in the building site. It's all ifs and buts.
Of course it is. But that's what makes playoffs good.
That's it as a neutral. It's fascinating, isn't it? And when Trevor did what he did, obviously, I think Paul Durkin, the referee, the penalties weren't going to be in front of the Preston fans because obviously the building work going on at Deepdale. As players, what did that affect you in the penalties? Or
I think it did. I was never down to take a penalty, but I think it affected some of the lads. I really did. You're in there for 15, 20 minutes, and he was negative. He weren't. I think me personally should have just gone, lads, let's get on with it. Let's show them in front of their fans. It'll make it even better if we win in front of their fans. And I think that's the mentality he should have had. I'd have had that mentality, not taking us off, sitting us in the thing saying we're not going out, the game's void, blah blah blah, and we come back on, and unfortunately we got back. Yeah,
it's remarkable in the end, wasn't it? And then obviously, while we're on the subject, the next year, like you said, going away in the semi-final to Millwall. I mean, like you said, there's something about going on your opposition's patch, winning a game like that in that magnitude. There's got to be.
Well, we drew one apiece in the home leg, and everybody weren't giving us a chance down at the Den, because it is it's like St Andrews. It's not a nice place to go and play football if you've not got that strong mentality. But we managed it. I can always remember Olivier Tebily going for a 70-30 ball to I think it was Nethercott or something like that. Stuart Nethercott won it. So he got a good memory, and he just went through. We won one boot on. And he just went, we're going to win this. And thankfully Stern popped up and got that winner.
It was incredible with Olivier, wasn't it? I mean, Steve Bruce, he put him into central midfield as well, didn't he?
He was a beast.
I mean, he was strong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a strong old sort.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, an old school midfielder that he'd run through a brick wall.
Yeah,
and he'd take the brick wall out as well. To be fair, but yeah, great times, absolutely great times.
Yeah, and in that game, obviously, I think Dion Dublin had a big chance, and then
he did,
and he missed that, and then Stern, if you remember, went through, put it over the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So it was still in the balance.
Yeah, of course it was.
Until that.
Yeah. And that's football, and that's playoffs. And going back to it, that's how excited the playoffs are.
Yeah, and in the final, let's talk about the final as well. Scored there, stooping header. Could you it's interesting. What did you go with your head? Was it?
I don't know, because I must probably missed it with my foot. But no, I can remember having a volley about, I think it was first half, and it's hooked up, and Robert Green's made a absolute great save. He's palmed it over, and Stern went to the far post, headed it, and thankfully it was an easy tapping for me with my head, so it was nice. Yeah. Gray enjoys me a lot for that, by the way, when it ran under his foot. Yeah,
it's crossfield ball, wasn't it? Get away, and then you thought, oh no.
Yeah, but the penalty, going back to the penalties, the lads who took the penalty, because I'd been took off, but the lads like the Devs and Stan, and then for Daz Carter, 17-year-old blue nose to come and win it.
Those penalties, like you said, they were very good penalty takers in their own right. You got Stern, Devs, and Stan never missed one for Blue. No. He was so cool.
Yeah.
But I've said this before. I don't know if you remember in the prep towards the game, the last training session. I think Brucey made
us walk from the halfway line. He didn't just make us take penalties on the edge of the box. He made us walk and go right. And he'd already made his decision who would take the penalties.
But I don't know if you remember, but the penalties on that last session were really bad.
Oh, well, I can't remember because I never took one.
I remember watching it. I'm thinking, oof, like that. And, and Brucey comes off and he goes, hey, this will be done with the penalties tomorrow. And then obviously when it does, I just thought, because Blues at that stage had a really bad record in penalty shootouts, but there was something about that. There was something about, and then of course you had Brian Hughes that was could have taken the one after Daz Carter. What did you think when Darren, bless him, went up? I mean, 18-year-old kid. I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
I know. I couldn't believe he got put in, but he told Bruce. Bruce asked him. He just went, "Yeah, I'll have it."
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'd swapped it. I think they'd swapped it before when they were deciding who to take the penalty.
Yeah.
Going to be Daz Carter, they wanted Hughes, because Hughes was a good penalty taker.
Yes, absolutely.
Technically, he was one of the best players in the squad, if not the best technical player in the squad. So I think Brucey thought, let's have him. But for Carts to do it and win it, fantastic.
Just sweep it in.
Fantastic for the kid.
It was, what memories that was. I mean, imagine if Blues got into a playoff final at the end of this season, but that was just something 17 years away from being in the top flight. And that, I mean, what was it like after? What was the...
Bit of a blur, mate, to be fair, for 4 days.
4 days, blimey, okay.
I think it was 3 or 4 days. Me and Dad's car up Broad Street. I think we never bought a drink. We stayed in an hotel, and we ended up buying clothes, going into flannels and buying clothes, and just stayed in the hotel because we just couldn't stop partying. But it was fantastic. And for that group of lads, we got a really good, as you know, you were involved in it, the nucleus of them lads, and even players like Skip and all them that were still behind the scenes, that were still there. Yeah. It was still us. It wasn't just who Brucey had brought in and just them. It was us all, and we'd got a good set of lads there. A good set of lads.
No, great memories. Anyway, let's fast forward again to this weekend. Blues at home, first game of the championship. At home, St Andrews. I mean, the record over the last couple of years has been outstanding. I still don't think people have given the team, the players, the credit for it, because it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, I've got notes here. 68% of all points last season were at St Andrews. It was 44 points. And yes, there was the odd moment where teams would, Blues wouldn't breaking down to.
Yeah, they're part of the bus. They're part of the bus, isn't they? Yeah.
But is that it? Do you think this season as well, opposition sides coming to St Andrews will again show Blues a lot of respect because they know what they're like on their own patch?
Yeah.
Would it change their approach? Is what I'm getting at.
I don't think the top teams will. I think West Ham, Wolves, them kind, Burnley, they'll come and try to win the games. Yes, they'll want to win the games. But the lesser teams, and no disrespect to them kind of teams, but the lesser teams in the division, they will try to get a 0-0, 1-1 draw and stop us trying to play. But St Andrews, when it's full as a fortress, and players like speaking about going down to Millwall, some players will not want to come to St Andrews when you hear the bouncing and the fans, because the fans are hostile. And going back to Chris Davis, he will have looked at the stats. He'll have all the stats because that's what they do now, don't they? And saying, well, if we'd have won another 6 or 7 games away from home, more points, we're getting promoted or we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're in the top of the playoffs. If we win another 5 games, 10 points, we're up there. So he will have looked at that. He knows that we'll be strong, and we will be strong on Saturday. Again, it'll be a full house kind of party atmosphere. And hopefully we can get the 3 points and start winning the games and like we have been doing last season.
Yeah, and I think we talked about the sort of hybrid style that they are. I think we'll see Blues with a lot more possession.
Yeah,
will try to wear teams down, but they'll also go down the sides quicker. They'll hit the wide players, won't they? And look to play in off the front. Talking about off the front, what have you made of August Priske? Obviously, young lad, coming across from Sweden to go straight into the Championship. I mean, he just gets beaten up all back end of last season. He was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
But he seems to have understands that, got a measure of it.
Yeah.
Intelligent player. He's not a big, strong, burly target man. He's a bit more nimble. He's athletic.
Yeah.
He can run behind. And it looks like the goal at Swansea. He's a finisher. He's a box finisher.
Yeah.
What have you made of him?
He can finish. He's really, really good finishing. I think coming into the Championship, coming from abroad, it shocks you. It really does, because these big centre halves that are gonna. I know it's not as physical as it was 20 years ago when I played, but they're still going to get tight to you, and he'll have learned to not go tight to a defender because he's not going to hold him off and beat him by strength. Yeah. So he's got to be a bit more cuter upstairs, drop deep or running behind and down the sides, and he'll get fouls, but his finishing's second to none. So hopefully he can get some goals.
Yeah, there's another one with a good upside like Jhon Solis.
Yeah.
Bristol City, they've lost 2 on the spin, lost to Walsall in the Carabao Cup. The Millwall game, they opened the Championship with Adam Randall got sent off.
Yeah, got sent off. Yeah.
So that changes the complexion. They lose 2-0 to Millwall. But I guess they'll be coming into it under a bit of pressure. Obviously, Max Bird, who they sold to Blues, is playing against them. Scott Twine has not started because, as we mentioned, he's changed the front a little bit there. Yeah. And also there's a lot of uncertainty on over Jason Knight's future as well. So they're coming into it under a little bit of pressure, I'd say.
Well, their manager's come from Lincoln. Yeah. He's come, made a big decision.
How big was that?
Made a big decision to go from Lincoln.
Yeah, because what he did at Lincoln, what they were building, the way that they play, to leave that after going up to go to Bristol. How big a jump is that? How big a decision?
I think it is a big decision, and I'm assuming, obviously, Lincoln's not going to have the budget that Bristol have got, so he's looked at that.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be anything to his wages. I think it's what Bristol have sold him, the chairman, what he sold. Yeah. But I think it's huge because he did a fantastic job at Lincoln. For them to get into the Championship and do what they did, and the points that they got, and they played some good football. I watched them a few times last season, and they played some good football. But he'll be under pressure. He will be. It'll be interesting to see when he plays Lincoln City as well, what reception he gets. But managers move on, and like I said, they got sending off. They got beat 2-0, but they'll be coming to Blues trying to get a result.
Yeah, bought a couple of others. I mean, Jed Wallace is there now as well.
Yeah,
Sam Greenwood's coming. Sam Tickle in goal as well. So they have. You mentioned, they have spent a bit. Like every team, he seems to be sort of tooling up. Seems to be improving their squad base. So again, it just comes back to how competitive the Championship is.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why he's most probably gone, because he's got a very good budget, and I think he's made some 2 good signings. The strikers, as a pair, they take off, they'll score goals.
So, because I think Ballard's very quick. He's very direct.
Yeah, he's rapid. And he runs in behind, and he's a good finisher. So they'll do well. So it's not going to be an easy game. I think if everybody thinks, oh, they've lost 2 games, it's 3 points for us, it ain't going to be like that. It'll be a difficult game, but hopefully we can get on the front foot with the crowd behind us, and hopefully we can get 3 points.
Yeah, what would you expect to see from Blues, the opening home game? Obviously, I'm sure it'll be
high intensity, pressing them when they get the ball, getting the ball back as quick as possible, because they did that well against Sheffield United, especially Samuel. As soon as they get the ball, he was like a rat. He was straight on him getting the ball back. We've got to give that, and then give Jhon Solis the ball, and let's try to get some goals.
Yeah, I think actually Blues were second for high regains all last season.
Yeah,
that's the way Chris Davis.
That's how he plays. You can see that. Yeah. And that's what we've got to do all season. And that's why going back to Samuel, you've got to be fit, and you've got to be strong and mentally strong, and hopefully we can do that all season. And
also options off the bench, because if you're playing at such a high intensity, and you're looking at the Blues bench now, it's strong.
Yeah, we have got a strong bench, and like you said, going back to it, if you're playing at that high intensity, there's going to be players after 60, 65 minutes, 70 minutes where he's got to make a change because they've done too much, they've worked hard and they're tired. So, and I know fans always go, well, they shouldn't be tired, the professional footballers. If you're that high intense for that amount of time, then you're gonna need a rest and get people on, and that's what a good squad's about.
Yeah. Okay, Geoff, thank you very much for your time.
It's not a problem.
Can I get a prediction off you though for the game?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Blues.
2-0.
2-0 Blues. I think Stansfield will get his first goal this Saturday.
Okay. Lump on that then. Okay. And just before we go, just want to sort of flag up the fact that the Forever Blues website is relaunched under the Counterpress platform. If you could have a look at that, and if you wanted to become a member, it'd be most gratefully received by yours truly. And Neil Moxley, who is still around. We can't tell you where, but I think his latest parole hearing does come up pretty soon. And talking of subjects of the law, again, thank you very much to Davisons Law. They were moving you forward with all your legal needs. And also to our other partners and backers, Big Bulls Head in Digbeth. Go down there pre-post match and say hello to Burnsy. He'll give you a warm welcome.
He'll not give you a free pint.
Very true. Very true. Very true. We'll work on that special offer, but I don't think he'll give you a free pint, will it? No, but good place to go. You get a lot of like-minded Blues fans there. Good beer, good food, good music, and a good time had by all. So thank you very much again for watching and listening to our 50th episode of this podcast, and it was great to have Geoff on to share it with you. And we'll have to make a decision on Taity's future, and we'll let you know or not. Thank you and goodbye. Keep right on.